Welcome, Advik. And
Yeah.
hi. Morning, Pranav.
Wow.
Hey, Yash. Welcome, Neha. Good morning. Sudit. Welcome, Sumant.
Hello, good morning all. Good evening.
Sairam sir. Sairam sir.
Okay. So, are we waiting for anything? I've got Yashwant. I've got Sudit. Pranav, Neha. Are we waiting for anyone? Yash, are we waiting for anyone else? The two more guys. Sumant, I'll just admit those two and then I'll hand it over to you.
Yes, okay, sure.
There's Madhav and Sunil.
Sorry?
Madhav.
Madhav, yeah. Where is he?
So Tanuj as well.
Okay, so today we have new students. Advik has joined on Saturday. Akarsha, Ashi, Devansh are joining today. They'll be part of you guys for the next month and a half. So let's do a quick intro. Just give me the names, the age, school, and whatever habits you might have, guys. 15 seconds you have. So go ahead. Akarsha, just quickly introduce yourself.
My name is Akarsha. I'm 13 years old. I study in St. Andrew School. I'm of 8th class.
You, Ashi.
My name is Ayushi Thakur. I am in DPSE school. I study in 7th class. I am of 12 years.
You, Devansh. Devansh, a quick intro.
Yeah, hello everybody. My name is Devansh. I'm studying in 10th class of DAV Public School, Hyderabad. Uh, I'm 15 years old. Thank you.
All right, so Madhav is here. So I've got Neha, Pranav, Sudit is there. Is Tanuj around? Don't see Tanuj around. Madhav is here. Yash is here. Advik is here. All right. I think we can go ahead. I'll follow up with Tanuj and ensure he comes. So over to you, Sumant.
Okay, hello and welcome back to our series of lectures on IoT with Python. Uh, Today we will be dealing with more concepts of programming Python. From today, we will be trying to use Python and build a few basic programs. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so in today's lecture, we will be uh, discussing the concepts of Python's uh, input processing and output in Python. Like, how do you take or give an input to a Python program? How do you process stuff in the program, and then how you output uh, whatever you have processed? So let's get started. So there's this thing that programs must be carefully designed or like before they are written. Uh, and what do we mean by designing a program is the flow in which you want the execution to be done, right? So if your program expects some of the things to be done before doing another task, then priority must be given to whatever things that must be uh, done in prior to uh, having the next set of things. So let me give you an example. Uh, Let us consider any process of, say, preparing any food. Now, let's say that you need to prepare a chapati or a roti. So, what would be the process? Can you directly uh, put the dough on the pan without preparing the dough first? No, you need to first knead the dough, keep it aside for half an hour, and after it ferments, then you can prepare rotis. But the you cannot skip a few steps and directly go to the preparation of rotis, because there are a few necessary steps that need to be done. Similarly, in a program, there are a few necessary steps that you need to do, uh, and once you have the necessary data, then only you can do the processing of the data that you have. So in order to do this, programmers generally tend to use tools such as pseudocode, flowcharts, and create models for the program. Now, pseudocode is something like the logic for your program. Flowchart is nothing but how your data can flow, and creating models for your program uh, uh, is to ensure that you can reuse these models. Now I have just stated three words: pseudocode, flowchart, and an algorithm. You might not understand at this point what these terms mean, but by the end of the lecture, I'm sure you will be able to create a pseudocode, a flowchart, and a model and understand the difference between them. Okay, so let us move on to the development lifecycle of a program. So in order to develop a program, you need to first design a program. That is, you need to structure your program, or you need to know what comes first, what comes next. Then you will be writing the code, and then you will be correcting your syntax errors, and then you will be testing the program. Then you will be correcting logical errors. Now this flow might be a bit confusing for beginners, but let us take example of a simple program, and you will be able to understand the entire steps of what we mean by each block over here. Okay, so input, processing, and output. Let us explore each of them practically, and we will be doing a few examples in the class to make you understand the concept. Fine. So before getting started, I would like to reintroduce two keywords which we had seen in the last lecture. The first keyword is the keyword called as input. You use this input keyword to accept data from a user or type something on your computer so that your computer program can take it as an input. And print is an output keyword. Whatever you want to output on your computer screen, you use the keyword print to do that. And processing can be done by implementing a few formula or uh, uh, or a logic. Okay, so let us start our uh, start our programming practice for today by exploring the print function. Now, I would like all of you to open up idle on your computers. Okay, and let's try to implement these over here. Okay, so let us have a recap of what we had done in our previous class. In our previous class, we had printed a few statements, like you can print hello world, and it will output hello world over here, or whatever is present inside the parentheses. Okay, so let me try to print a statement like your assignment is to read Hamlet by the end of the day. Okay, suppose say I have a statement, your assignment is to read Hamlet by the end of the day. And now I want to print a statement in such a way that the word Hamlet is in quotes. Okay, so according to our previous print statement, I, I, I have said you that whatever is inside the parentheses will be outputted on our computer screens. But if you try to execute such a kind of a sentence or try to print such a kind of a sentence which has quotes inside it, then you should be doing something else. Okay, so let me just try to execute this thing. It says syntax error, invalid syntax. And now why this is happening is my print statement will print anything that is inside the inverted commas and the closing brace. But here it is not accepting me to use a double quote in my print statement. So for this, what I can do is instead of using a double quote, what I can do is I can replace my double quotes with a single quote. Now you might be observing the change in color over here. So it is good to look at the colors that are being displayed on a Python shell, because your Python shell, before executing or when you're on the in the job of writing the code itself, it will let you know that there might be something wrong going on over there. In our previous statement, the word Hamlet, it was being shown in black color, but here the entire thing is in green. So please do remember that when you are trying to print statements in Python, whatever inside whatever is inside your print statement should be green. If it is not green, then it means there's some error. Okay, let's try to execute the statement. Yes, your assignment is to read Hamlet by end of the day, and this print statement got printed without any error. So when you're trying to print any any English statements which contain a double quote, then you should take care that you replace your double quote with a single quote. Okay, am I clear up to this step?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay, fine. Then let's move on with the printing of an apostrophe. So I have a program over here. Let me open up a new file. So I will execute this program in a separate file, because you can either choose to use the interpreter mode over here, and type your code after the chevron, or you might also want to write a separate write out the entire code in a separate file and then try to execute the entire statements at once. Okay, so my program is to print don't fear, and then in the next line I am here. So I want to run this program and it should be outputting me don't fear, I am here. Now you might be wondering why I have chosen this example. Here you could see that there's an apostrophe inside my print statement. So whenever I have an apostrophe inside my print statement, then I will have to design my print statement in such a way that I start it with a double quote. Earlier we had seen that since we had double quotes in our print inside our sentence, we started it with a single quote. But now we have double quotes. We have an apostrophe inside our statement, and we would like to execute it. It's asking me to save. Let me save it by defining example. Okay, so once I have executed it, it says don't fear, I'm here. Okay, so I think you got the gist of what we are discussing right now. So if your statement or your sentence, if it contains a double quote, start with the exact opposite, the single quote. If your statement contains an apostrophe, then start your statement with a double quote. So double becomes single, single becomes double. Okay, let's move on. I would like you to try printing the statement, "The cat said meow," on your computers, and let me know how it goes. I will give you 1 minute. Please try to print this statement, "The cat said meow."
Do we have to have quotes around meow?
Yes, yes, yes.
It doesn't work.
Okay, so what's the error that you're getting?
Invalid syntax.
Let's say, so you get a syntax error over there. So,
Yeah, because it doesn't have, because the quotes around meow.
Sir, I got it, sir. The cat said meow.
okay,
I put a single quote
yes,
for the whole thing and double quote for meow.
yes.
So even I got it.
I put single quote for now.
And double quote for meow.
Yeah. So if you can do it this way, then it will be printed. But if you do it this way,
It will not print.
it will say a syntax error. Okay, so the purpose for me, behind me giving this example to you is to follow the rule that we need to, like if you have if you have any word that is in quotes, then you need to use a single quote. If you have a apostrophe in your sentence, then you need to start it with a double quote. I hope you get it now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move on to our next set of print statements. Now we have the option of printing multiple lines with a single print statement. Okay, so we have seen that earlier we had used two print statements to print two lines, but I can do that by using a single print statement itself. Let me show you how we can achieve that. Print, I will have to use three quotes, three double quotes, and then one, I press an enter, two, I press an enter, three, and then finish my triple quotes and complete my print statement by closing the braces. And now, if I hit an enter, what will it print?
So it will print 1, 2, 3.
Yes, it will print 1, 2, 3, but will it print 1 space 2 space 3 or 1?
No, one below the other.
One below the other.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, it will print one below the other. So you need not use multiple print statements to print multiple lines. You can use a single print statement itself. So let's move on to our next concept called as comments. Now, comments are non-executable code. It means whatever you put inside a comment, it will not get executed. Now, this comment is necessary for a programmer to use because you might want to know what your code is doing, and you might want to refer after a few weeks of writing your code, um, uh, uh, what that particular line might be doing. And it will also help you in debugging your code, which means, suppose say, if you want to check whether a particular thing is working or not, you can try out the comments. Okay, so let's try to execute our thing. So print, hey Karen, and then print print wow, and then I'll do this. Yes. So now tell me, what would be the output of my program over here?
So it'll first print hey Karen, then it'll print hash, then it'll print wow, but it'll not print yes.
Okay, but I have given my hash inside the print. So will it throw an error or will it not?
Sir, it's inside the quotation, so it'll not show anything.
Okay. So let's try to run. So it says, hey Karen, a hash, and wow, but it has not printed the statement yes. So one thing that you need to note is whatever is inside your double quotes, if it is even though if it is a hash, it will not get it will get executed. But what if I do this? What would be my output now?
So will it print a quotation, or it'll show an, I think so it'll show an error or something like that.
Okay. Will it show an error?
Yeah.
It shows EOF while scanning triple quote string.
So what if I do this? I have ended my lines of code with another triple quote.
So we didn't start it's like triple quote. We ended the brackets. That's why.
Okay. Good. So the purpose of me using
End of
this,
line. End of line something.
yep. So the purpose of me trying out this example is that you can use triple quotes as well for comments, but here it didn't work out, and the reason why it didn't work out is I did not complete my print statement properly. So let me try to complete my print statement properly, and whatever is beyond or inside these triple quotes will act as a comment. Oh, it says invalid syntax.
So that means
Yep.
you ended
Now-
that.
Now it did work. So that's what I would like to demonstrate. If you want to comment multiple lines of code, you can use the triple quotes. Say you have 100 lines in between and want to comment out the all the 100 lines inside a block, then you cannot go on using the hash symbol. You cannot comment like use the hash symbol 100 times. It will waste uh, your energy, and you will find it a bit difficult for you to do that, or just type on punching the keyword hash for 100 lines. So if you want a multiple line comment, then you can use the triple quote. But remember that you cannot be using a triple quote uh, at the middle of the statement, um, or somewhere where your actual code might throw an error. So you should be careful enough that before the start of your actual uh, actual statement, you must be placing the triple quotes, but not at the end or at the middle of your lines. So that's one example that I would like to give you guys.
Sir?
Yep.
Yeah. I just didn't. It didn't print. It didn't print wow and yes.
Yes,
Why is that?
because I have put it inside these triple quotes. Whatever is inside the triple quotes will be taken as non-executable code. I am commenting these lines. You
Okay,
can,
so it won't be shown in the program.
yep. It won't get
Okay.
executed in the program. You can use hash for a comment or a triple quote for a comment.
Okay.
It's nothing but non-executable code. Whatever you put inside a comment is not executable. That is the reason why wow and yes did not get printed. Okay, so I hope you got this concept. Let's move on to our next example. Okay, we have seen the concept of print. Print was used as an output, giving function. Now we are moving on to our next concept called as variables. Now we need these variables in order to process our data. So our today's lecture is focused on three things: input, processing, and output. I am following a reverse order. First, I'm giving you the output, then I'm trying to uh, uh, show you what the variables are in order to process them, and then we will be trying to give these variables as um, with our input statements. So let us start our discussion on variables. Now, variable, the term variable is a name that represents a value that is stored in the computer's memory, which means, suppose say you have a value called 10. Now you want to store this value. What do is you store it inside a variable. Suppose say I have uh, how many of you are familiar with the algebra concepts?
Yeah, I sir.
Yes. Say x is equals to 5. What does this statement mean?
Means the value of x is 5.
Yes, I am storing a value of 5 inside x. So the concept of variables is similar. You store some value inside a variable. Now, what are the values that x can take in algebra? It can be 5, it can be 5.5, it can be 12 by 5, or it can be a negative number like minus 5, minus 5.5, minus 5 by 12. Yes, x can be anything. So similarly, in Python, there's a concept called as variables, wherein you can uh, you can store any value inside this variable. Okay, so programs usually store data in the computer's memory and perform operations on that data. For example, like this exam, suppose say you go to Amazon and you add items to your Amazon cart. So what actually is happening is your browser, it will remember whatever items you have added to your shopping cart. Yes, so say you have added say groceries to your Amazon shopping cart, and you are still browsing for a few other things that you would like to purchase. Now you might have observed that after adding this thing to your cart, and if you try to move outside Amazon, or if you even if you close the app, your application will still remember that you had added so and so items to your shopping cart. Now, how is that happening? Is it is because your program, it will remember your your choice by storing your choice inside a variable, right? So here shopping cart is assume the shopping cart to be a variable, and to this variable you can add your shopping list. So my program will remember my the contents of my shopping cart, and it will store it at on the server for me. And whenever you revisit or whenever you want to check out, it will tell you that, hey, you have stored so and so things in your shopping cart or inside your variable, and these are the this is the amount that you need to pay. Now, how is uh, the program able to do it? Is it will take the contents of the variable, and that content has some monetary value to it, say $10, $12, or accordingly, and I will write a formula to um, use to use the contents inside my shopping cart, and I will simply multiply it with the numbers that you have purchased, and I will add the total. So that is how uh, Amazon is is able to bill you for the items in your shopping cart. It uses variables. Okay, so let us try to understand what are the kinds of variables that uh, we can use in Python. Okay, so creating of variables in Python is done with the assignment statement. Assignment in the sense, say you use the symbol of is equal to in order to assign a value to a variable, right? Suppose say you want to evaluate the area of a square. Now what do we do? In order to evaluate the area of a square, we multiply the length with the width, right? So in your mathematics class, you would be doing the solution for this in this way. Say I take width is equal to 10, which is given in my question, and say length is equals to 5. This is also given in my question. Now what will I do? I will simply multiply length and width. I will simply write this thing. Length into breadth is equals to 10 into 5. And in my next line, I will simply write area is equals to 50. So this is how I evaluate a mathematical expression on paper. Let's see how you can do it programmatically with the help of variables. Okay, so let us take this example. Say width is equal to 10. Okay, and then length is equal to 5. I hit an enter. Now let me try to print width. Now what will be the answer for this print statement over here?
The answer is 10.
Yes, it's 10. And okay, I will try to print my length. It is 5. Now how do I evaluate area? What is the formula to evaluate the area of a rectangle over here? It's a rectangle, right? Because length and the width are not the same. So it would be a rectangle.
So
Area is equal to what can I do?
width into length.
Yes, width. What I've stored inside width?
10.
Value 10.
10.
So I can directly use this variable and substitute inside my formula. That's how you would also do in your mathematical class, right? So you say you will write width is equals to so and so, length is equals to so and so, and you put a formula called area is equals to length into width, and then inside the and then expanding you will say area is equals to, and you will substitute those values over there. But here what is actually happening is, since you have already stored some values inside these variables, your computer will directly evaluate the thing for you. Now once I have hit an enter, you can see that it has successfully taken this formula. Now let me try to print.
Now you can just write print area. And it comes.
50.
Yeah. So you could see that when I do a print area, it is giving me a value of 50. That is because 10 into 5 is 50. Okay. So now let's move on to our.
So I just have one doubt. If you're doing it in like a new file, this won't work, right? Because if you write width is equal to 10 and length is equal to 5, it won't store
No,
it as
it will work.
variables. Oh, it will work? Okay.
Let me just show it to you. Yes, it's 10. Clear this out. And is equals to 5. Area is equals to width into 10. And area. I'll run. See, it has printed.
Okay.
And in our previous class, we had seen that we use a star symbol for multiplication. Do not use the letter X for multiplication. It will throw you an error. It will say X is, it doesn't understand what X is. So in order to multiply two things, you will be using the symbol star. You can access star by using Shift and 8. Similarly, you can divide two numbers. Say, I want to get my, suppose say I know area and it is 50 and I know length. Now, how can I evaluate the width?
Sir, we divide area by length.
Yes, area by length, right? So let me comment out this thing over here. We know this relation, but using this relation, we can simply evaluate width as area by length. Yep. So it did print 50 again because I have printed area. I need to print width. Yes, it did print 10.
So I have a doubt, sir.
Yeah.
So why did it in 10.0, sir, like a decimal?
Yes. I will like you will understand why that is happening in as we go on. Probably by the end of the second slide from now, you will understand why.
Okay. Sir, you put the what's it called? The area is equal to width into length in as a comment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So wait, like how does it matter if you don't put in a comment, it still won't show, right?
Yep. You can uncomment it, but
okay.
Sir, can you explain how to do a comment one more time?
Yes. So you can do a comment using the hash symbol. So whatever is inside or on inside this line followed by a hash will act as a comment. But
okay, so the hashtag makes the line of code red, and that becomes a comment, right?
Yes, yes.
All right, thank you for the doubt.
Now, your friend has asked me, what if I remove this comment and what if I leave it as it is? Now here you could see that I have used a keyword called as width, and
yeah,
I haven't initialized anything to this variable. So what will it understand? This thing is, it will throw me an error because you you cannot use a variable without assigning a value to it. It won't understand because this is the first time that you are using a variable called as width and you haven't assigned any value to it. Neither you are using it. If you place this width over here, then it might work. But since you are on the right hand side and you are using it for the first time, it will throw you an error. Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So let's try out another type of assignment. Okay. Okay, so let me try another type of assignment. Say this, 25 is equal to age. Now, what would be the expected output?
It will mean like blank one. 25 is the value is age. it will show nothing.
It will show nothing. But what actually will happen over here is it will show an error, syntax error. Now, why this is happening is you can assign a number to a variable, but not a variable to a number.
To a number.
It doesn't make sense, right? So the other way around, it will work. Age equal to 25 is correct. Now let me try to print age. It says 25, but the other way around, when I try to do 25 is equals to age, it will throw me an error. Now this is something trivial, and you will be understanding this way, that if you try to assign a value to a variable, then it will accept, but the other way around, it will throw an error. In general, say in your algebra, x is equals to 5 or 5 is equals to x, they make sense, but in a computer program, x is equals to 5 only makes sense. 5 is equals to x doesn't make any sense. That's one thing that you need to remember. Okay. So let us move on to the concept of naming a variable. Now, what do we mean by naming a variable is, we have a set of rules that we need to follow in order to name a variable. So the rules are, you cannot, the first and foremost rule is that you cannot use one of Python's keywords as variables. We have seen in our previous class what are Python's keywords. They are like class, def, etc. So there are a set of keywords like input is one keyword that we had discussed today. Print is one keyword that we had discussed today. So we cannot use such kind of keywords as variable names. That means I cannot use the print is equals to, I cannot do this. So this will result in errors when I actually use them inside programs. Next, a variable name cannot contain spaces, which means, say, area of a rectangle. I cannot have a variable named with spaces in it. Is equals to, say, 25. It says syntax error. So a name of a variable can only be one word, or I can do this. So instead of doing this, I can separate my words with a underscore. This is valid. See, this is valid, and it has taken, it has accepted this thing for me. But when I try to use spaces in my variable name, then it will throw an error. Okay. Moving to my third rule, it says the first character must be one of the letters through A through Z, or capital A through capital Z, or an underscore, which means my first character, it can be A, B, B. This can be a variable. This also can be a variable, like it can have underscores. This is also a valid variable, AB. this is also a valid variable because it has started with an underscore, but it cannot be a number. 2a, I cannot start my variable name with a number. It will throw an error. Similar, you had seen that here as well. When I had done 25 is equals to age, it had thrown an error that it's a syntax error, can't assign to a literal. So similarly, you have seen that when I try to start my variable name with a number, it will throw an error.
Sir, but if we add underscore, it does not throw an error.
Yes, if you do it this way, underscore 2a will not throw an error. But you should not start your variable name with the number. That is the concept.
Sir, even we cannot use underscore as a variable, sir.
You can use.
But just now I tried it, it's showing an error, sir.
You see, it got executed.
No, sir, it means like only underscore, nothing else.
Yes, I have used only underscore, and I am assigning a value called as 50 to it. And then I do print underscore. Okay. Yeah.
I tried it, sir.
Yep. So here, what is actually happening is, I have told you the first rule that you cannot use a few Python keywords as variable names. So underscore in Python actually means a class. So that's why it says int object is not callable. It is assuming that the value underscore is an object and it's not a legitimate variable. So since this does not comply with our first rule, it is throwing an error.
Yes, sir.
So here as well, uh, you could have seen that when I had assigned a value called as 25 to print, it did accept, but when I try to access this variable, it will throw me an error. Print is a keyword of Python, and I've tried to assign a value 25 to print. It did accept, but it is not the right thing to do, because when you try to access this variable, it will throw you an error. So you can, what you can do is you can start your name with underscore, but you cannot use underscore for this reason.
Okay, sir, understood. Yes, sir, understood.
Okay. So moving on to our next thing. After the first character, you may use letters A through Z and or A to Z, capital A to Z, and you might also include the digits 0 through 9 or underscores. We have already seen this in the example. Underscore 2a is equals to 25. I've done that, and it was able to take it and accept this as a legitimate variable name. Now, our last point says that, sorry, so uppercase and lowercase characters are distinct. This means that variable names, items ordered, is not as the same as items ordered. Now, what this means is, say I have a variable called as item, and I assign a value 25 to it, and let me also create another thing called as item and assign a value 50 to it. Now it says that though the spelling of both are same, but since this is in caps and this is in small, both are different variables. So even if I do this thing, even if I do start with a capital and end with small letters, this is altogether a new variable for me, because in Python there is something called as it is case sensitive, which means if you follow different cases to different words, then it will take them to be different names and not a unique thing, or they do not mean that they are the same. Now when I try to print item, it will print me, sorry, just a minute, let me restart my shell. So in this way it will throw an error, because I am trying to do I'm not trying to follow the rules, I'm trying to break the rules. So that is why it will throw such kind of errors to us. So you need to remember these types of rules. So as an assignment, what I would like you guys to do is try to explore uh, these variable names and see which are uh, legitimate and which are throwing an error. Okay, and I will take another 5 minutes to conclude my session. I will be discussing this concept called as variable reassignment. It means I can reassign my variable with different numbers multiple times. Say I have this thing called as dollars is equals to 2.75, and then I will do dollars is equals to 99.95, which means I am overwriting the things. Now when I try to print dollars, what value will it take? Will it take 2.75 or 9.95?
And I think it'll show like first one.
No, it will take the latest one, which means whatever you have last assigned. Okay, so you can try out this program. Say dollars is equals to 2.75, and then print a statement. I have dollars in my account. So let us try to print this thing. Dollars is equals to 2.75, and then print. I have, and then comma, dollars in account. Now, can you tell me, is this the correct way of writing my print statement? Earlier we had seen that I had told you that whatever is inside this print statement, if it is in green color, then it might be correct. But here I am getting a different color over here. So does this mean that whatever I'm trying to print, is it the right way to do, or do I have an error?
No, you have an error.
So you won't have
No,
an
sir,
error.
you won't
Or
have
you
an
won't
error.
have error.
No error. So this is how you can add a variable to your print statement. You will have to separate your statements with the commas. So earlier we haven't used commas. If I do it this way without using commas,
It'll show
then
you an error.
it will throw an error. It says invalid syntax. But when I separate the statement with commas, then it will work fine. I have $2.75 in my account. Then in my next statement, I will try to assign 99.75, and then I'll try to print a similar statement. But now I have
So it'll print 99. But now I have $99.75 in my account.
yes, I have $2.75 in my account, but now I have 99.75 in my account. That is because we can assign a different value to our variable at any part of our code. It doesn't mean that once you have assigned a value to a variable, that value will be constantly affixed to it. No, it doesn't happen. So the next time you assign a value to that variable, it will throw an error. Okay, so let's move on to our next example called as variable types. Now, I was previously asked that when I was trying to execute this program, why did I get an answer called as 10.0 and not 10? Like I was trying to evaluate the width from the given area and the length, and I had got an answer of
Percent
10.0 and not
in
10. That is because there are different variable types for me. Like I have a variable type called as int. Int means integer.
integer.
Now what are integers? Integers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. And I have another variable type called as float. Float is nothing but values which have a decimal a number to it, like 1.5, 1.6. These are called floating type variables.
Yeah, but float even accepts the whole numbers also.
Yes, it will. But what will it do is it will put zeros beyond this thing, and so let us try to execute this thing. Type, say I have x is equals to 1, and then I will do this type of x. It says class int, then I will do x is equals to 1.0, and then type x, says type float. So you have seen that I can also change my variable type over here by reassigning a different value to my same variable. Earlier the type of x was int, but now the type of x is float. Okay, so similarly there are other types of variables which we will be learning. These are called as strings. So I think we are already 10 minutes beyond our schedule, so let me not stress you guys. I will continue this topic in our next class. We will start from strengths in our next class, and we will also be dealing with how we can take the input from our keyboard. So is it okay that I continue the class for 15 more minutes? I can complete this lecture. It's up to you.
Yes, sir, I want.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine then. Let me continue the lecture then. So we have something called as strings, which is also a variable type. Strings is nothing but assume them to be your sentences. Suppose say your name, or you can as well think of them as different words. So your first name, say the first name, and you assign a string. This is how you do a string assignment. You start it with a quote. Okay, so first underscore name is Catherine, and then last underscore name is Marino. And when I try to type, use this keyword type of first name, it will show me that it is of type str. Str means string. Now, in our previous statement, we had seen that if you use comma, then we can print our variable. So this is how I print two variables in the same print statement. Okay, but what if I do this? X is equals to 1, right? So type of X is int. Now I will do this. Can you guess what would be the output? Will it print Catherine, and or will I have something unexpected happening over here?
Something unexpected, I guess.
So it will print Catherine 1.
Yes, it will print Catherine 1.
As x is equal to 1 and you give x as
So what my print statement will actually do is convert this X, which is an int as well, to a string, and then append it to the another string Catherine, and it will print it. So next okay, we can see that we can use the keyword input to read something from your keyboard. Say I want my user to type something from the keyboard, and I want to store it inside my variable. So I will do this. What is your name? It has outputted the statement, what is your name, and you could see that the cursor is waiting for user's input. It is waiting for you to type your name. Say I type Mario. It has accepted it. Now let me try to print name. What do you think will be the output? Will it be, what is your name, Mario, or just Mario?
The whole thing, the what is your name, Mario? The whole statement.
No, it will
Oh,
take the input from the user. Like whatever you have typed, it will store it inside the variable name and it will give you the output. Okay, so you can now say, let me try to do this. Age is equals to input. How old are you? Oh, sorry. I think I have forgotten to properly terminate it. It says, how old are you? Now say I enter 25. It has accept. Now, what will be the type of age?
Sir, integer, class integer.
Integer. No,
Class.
it's a string. So whatever you type by using the keyword input, it will by default take it as a string. Even if you do this, say how old are you? I say 25.5, and I do this again. It will still take as string, because this is one thing that you need to remember, is that whatever you give inside your input keyword, it will take it as a string. Now you might get a doubt that how we can actually convert this string into float again. Say you have your formula, it wants to multiply two numbers. Now since this is a string, I cannot multiply string with some integer or float again. It will say you cannot multiply a sequence of non-int with type float. It will throw you an error. So what you can, but see, I reassign this thing with 25.5.
Only 25.
And then I try to do this. It will give me a proper answer. So you should be understanding that you can multiply an int with float, float with float, int with int, but not int with string. So in order for you to multiply a string with a float, you will have to convert your string into float again. Now how you actually do that is using the typecast thing. So let me execute the statement again. How old are you? I say 25. Now what I can do is I can execute the statement. I can do this int of age. It did accept. Now let me try to say type of age. It says int. Now I will be able to multiply my age with another floating point number. Got it? So you can convert your strings to float and integers by using a concept called as typecasting. Okay, so this is how you typecast. Similarly, you can convert 25.5. You can convert this thing into a floating point number by using the keyword float of age, which means you are applying a formula to convert your string to float again. And then I do a print of age. See, this is how you convert. Sorry, let me try to view the variable, type of variable. So this is how you convert your input from string to float, and you can use the keyword input to accept variables from the end user. So I have a simple homework for you guys. I am expecting you to solve these two problems and mail them to this email. I will be sharing this deck as well with you. So the first program is to write a Python program to accept users' year of birth and calculate his age. Now, how do you do that is, suppose say age is equals to what is your year, or you can simply declare a variable called as year, and year is equals to input of in which year were you born, and then you store this variable. Then you can evaluate his age by simply subtracting whatever year that he has entered from the current year, that is 2020. Now when that person says, suppose say he has entered a value like in which year were you born, and he has entered say I was 2000. So how do you evaluate his age is 2020 minus 2000, which means he is 20 years old. And I would like you to print this age on the computer screen by using the print statement, print his age. That will do. And your second homework is to take two input of two numbers and then divide them. So this is a simple thing, but I would like you to try a few things. Like you can take input of any two numbers, like one can be float, one can be int, both can be int, both can be float. So you try what all you can do with these things and try to play with them. But remember that you cannot do it straightforward, because you cannot divide you cannot take input directly and divide them directly, because what have we seen? Input will consider them to be a string and not a int or float. So you need to convert them first and then divide them. You can refer this deck in order for you to solve both of the problems. Both are very easy. It will just this will just give you the feel of programming. Okay, so I think this is the end of my session today. Fine.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. I'll share this deck with you.
Thank you, sir.
And in my next class, please come prepared with this program. You can mail me the program to the email ID that I've just mentioned in the deck. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your time.